Hi guys. So managed to get the aircraft back. Haven't bothered with any of the Streamlabs etc. Just basically going to pick up from where we left off, as the Tolis has that resume from last position. So we was able to actually get it back. It's basically the RAM. It's either the RAM, as I've only got 16 running on 3000 megahertz and obviously need a 32, or it's down because the 1070 Ti is basically running on an 8 gig of VRAM, and with the settings that I run, as I've got max for the HDR, max for the textures, I've put down the objects down to medium from max, and for the anti-aliasing, that's on number 2. There's a phone number 2 is obviously using a 4K with a 55. Sort of helps out for the anti-aliasing as well, but we got her back and she's here now. We're a little bit back behind schedule, just passing through 18,000 feet on our way up for 310. So everything came back as it was, and everything is in the FMC, which was actually really handy for us this evening. Captain Spitfire, my man, glad to see you back, pal. I was definitely going to come back and make sure that this came back in. If I didn't see that resume, which is just up here, if I didn't see that resume from last time, then we wouldn't have been getting here. Dope, my man, good evening, pal. Hope you're doing well, my friend. So ground support is going to be turned off now. No smoking. We'll get back to where we was. Everything else was all on accordingly. Seatbelts was off for all the passengers. So yeah, we ran out of memory pretty much. So let's hope we don't run out of memory again, especially with X-Enviro. If the weather's bad, that's going to put more strain on for the RAM, etc. But I hope you guys are doing great, and we are back here ready to run the 1-5 arrival down for the Nogla 1 Delta arrival star down into Hamburg this evening. So we are back. I don't know if all the charts are there. So as you can see, we're running. It runs between 40 up in the sky, probably get around 35, 37, depending. On the ground we can get around 42. So it's just because we looked at the tablet. So we want to be coming in for Echo Delta Delta Hotel, and for the arrival we're going to be coming down in for the Nolga 1 Delta, which is right here as we go below 11,000 feet. And the arrival is for 1-5 on the ILS. So there's 1-5, 3,000 feet at 9.3 DME from the localizer. Is where we start our descent down from Devilled. So yeah, did have a bit of problems, but we are back. There's our top of climb, just in view now from Minga, which is right there, as the aircraft now climbs up for flight level 310. So expected arrival is for around 6:01 coming in. Time now currently 14:59. So we're just climbing up for 310, and then we should come down into that lovely sunset arrival approach. Q&H over to standard. Everything overhead seems to be above board, as we used the resume from last time. Just make sure the predicted wind shear and everything's all on, which it is. Coming through, keep the terrain on. You go outside and have a look at the Airbus. So it's right through 27,000 feet. Going to go to 310, where we're going to level off. We can see altitude cruise, which is in blue, armed, ready to come in from climb. So it was lucky that we did manage to get everything back to how it was. That was a bit of a joke. But we've got everything back, running okay for now, fingers crossed. And hopefully we don't have another one. So the aircraft's now going to start to level off for 310. Hope you guys were having a great weekend. Hopefully we don't get another breakage or Vulcan before we come down. We can see we've got everything which is all in still, ready for the arrival down. Just to double check that we've got Nalaga down to the FMC. Let's bring that down a little. It comes through. 1,000 below, there's our top descent just from the Delta Lima X-ray. Then we follow it round for Nogla, where that left turn for the Delta Hotel 406 lies, where we follow it all the way up to the 16, make that left hand turn onto the 150, and then we'll come down from 4,000 feet, which our transition was for the Delta Hotel 457, and then we've got the Charlie 115, the Charlie India 15 is where we're going to start the descent for 3,000 feet, which is going to be at 9.3 DME from the localizer. So we're at 3-1 now. Wind's currently 9 knots. So it's not too bad, but visibility isn't great coming down. As I said, we've done the 737 earlier, coming down to Hamburg over on Twitch, and visibility was very poor. It was very poor indeed. So seatbelt signs are off now. Cabin can go and have a look. We can go and have a look and have a look at the textures if we can. We can just walk through, can we? Yeah, okay. So we can have a look at the cabin. As we roll through first class. See our lovely wings, just a little tip for the engines. So we've got a galley. Caution. Anyone want a coffee? At a cabin, no. So coming out to the back now. And just creep out that window for a lovely wing view look. And on we go. Very long aircraft. It's a nice view. So we'll go down to the bottom, we'll see what the laboratories are looking like. Now, this is a nice little galley bit. Don't know where the toilets are though. So we'll do our run up, we'll see how quick we can get back to the cockpit. So we've got this super quick. 310 now as we fly through. It's going to be a little bit quiet now. It's got Haram, Mazak, Remad, then Solgu. Around top of descent. It's going to lie just before the Delta Lima X-ray. And that's where we're going to come through onto the arrival. So, A340 is nice to fly. It's a nice big long aircraft when you come down in for arrival. Flare's a little different, as it was a little weird first time using the auto throttle, allowing it to take us all the way down to just around 50 feet over the threshold. So that was quite interesting and new to do. As with the 737, you're obviously doing it manual with the thrusts, which is nice. It's nice to have manual control, but On the Airbus's front it is nice as well with the auto throttle. I wouldn't cut the throttles though on when the GPWRS or whatever it is, the announcer shouts out retard. I wouldn't cut back then, not in this. The rate that it comes down at, the flare is quite a high flare because it's long. So I'd cut the throttles probably around 50 feet. I'd cut the throttles. That'll just give us enough float time just to come over the threshold, maybe go past the touchdown, but we should come down just short after it. So we're at 310. We can see down over on the temperatures, etc. This is 22, 21. We can change all of that as well. We just go down and have a look at the temps. We see the flight controls. See all the bleeds. So on for the conditioning. If we wanted to turn everyone up and fry everyone, we'd just basically turn all of these to hot, and then we'd start to see everywhere start to slowly increase in temperature. We'll start to heat up the cabin. So put that back because I don't want to fry them. I did test out the engine failure as well a few days ago, which was quite nice, seeing everything come up on the eCam, saying what needs to be shut off, etc. That was quite nice to see. As we're just moving up now, we're going to be going to Harlem. Then we got Lahore, the Delta Lima Echo, which is going to ride in, and then we should be all ready to go. So see if we can get some tunes on. And we fly to lovely Hamburg onto the LSZH. No smoking's on, so no lighting up a cheeky one. As it comes through, there's the Alpha Lima Foxtrot on for the missed approach. We'll track inbound to the Hamburg VOR, 4,000 feet, and then we'll realign ourselves if we need to go around for the go-around approach. Let's make fuel on board 2.9 by the time we come down for 1.5. Of the radio is currently tracking the Tango Golf for Oscar, on for the 1125. It's currently 32 nautical miles out. So our top of descent, we're going to be looking for the top of descent at approximately 15:32. We're currently at 15:09, so we're going to be starting our top of descent in not too long. Approximately, as the time's now 3:09, we're coming down for 3:32. So in approximately another 20 odd minutes, we then get ready to come down onto that descent. And that lovely arrival down into Hamburg. So I'll be starting out top of descent in approximately around 15-20 minutes time. Got the tunes on, unbuckle your seatbelts, have a great time. think the views for X-Enviro aren't bad. I mean, for what they give out on the wing view, they are quite nice, so we'll give it that. Yeah, if I got the bit rate higher, then you guys will be able to see it more clearer. So apologies for that, I'll get that sorted. We'll do another stream again tomorrow. We'll do the 737, take the Zebo out for a spin, take her out high and dry, and we'll take her out somewhere. I don't know, we'll take her out somewhere. It's been overdue for the 737. And I see today PMDG is getting ready to release their 737 as well from Microsoft. I've seen some mixed reviews on it on the texturing, but I think it looks alright. Wait for the price tag. So for our arrival time, we're looking to arrive down into Hamburg for 16:01, 300 nautical miles to go. Let's see if we can hit a little bit of a rough air, so we can have a look and see what the wings are doing. We have got a little bit of turbulence. As the A340 powers on through. So not too far, around 300 nautical miles now. So around 20 minutes time we're coming in for our top of descent. Good job that Tolis did have the resume from last feature. I wouldn't be here right now carrying on. I did want to get this approach in and show you guys the weather down in Hamburg, as it was really nice for the sunset approach. So sit back and enjoy the ride, guys. We'll be starting our descent in around 10 to 15 minutes. So you can see the sun now is starting to draw in. We're not too far. There's a top of descent point just before the Delta Lima X-ray, Echo, sorry, VOR, and that's where we're going to track down to. Just passing through Lahore, which is 19.5 DME away. We're in the ECAMs, we can check the recalls. Recalls normal, systems are normal, so that's all fine for us. Right on through. Still got a little way to go yet. 288, we are picking up pace. 1601 coming in. Because we've got 29 on board. If we went down, maybe put the cost index to 70, that might change the performance. Doubt it, but we'll see. Yeah, these are the songs, mate. I took a few out and shoved them into a separate playlist. Only about 6 or 7, and they're just on shuffle at the moment. I did have them on before everything crashed, but then I thought we'd put it back on for the cruise, you know. But yeah, these are the ones, mate. If not for you sending them to me, I wouldn't have them here tonight. So thanks very much. 8 nautical miles from Law, 310. See what our optimum is. Optimum's 369, cruise, max 401. We could go higher. Should we go up there just for the fun of it? But if we do, the aircraft's probably going to try and come down on a nutty one, so probably leave it at 310. Yeah, there was a lot, mate, definitely. There was a lot of songs. I just picked a few out earlier on, just before we did this. So there's about 6 or 7 just on shuffle. I think after they've played a couple of times, I think we should be on the ground by then. So 274 on the initial. Up to 3.6 and see what happens. Okay, so X-Enviro is loading up. It's going to go up to 360. Yeah, we'll definitely be there all night, mate. We'll be there all night indeed. So we're going to go up for 360. It says Optimum's 369. So we'll go up to 360. See if it'll plan out a new top of descent. So yeah, we can see the top of descent now has come back to Nauta as it was just before the Delta Lima Extra Echo VOR. So it has recalculated its top of descent. There's our new top of climb for 360. That is optimum climb out, it's saying on the MCDU. So that's what we're going to run with today. Then once we come down to a top of descent, we can then pull the trigger over on the MCP for the altitude and get ready to watch the aircraft come down. Hopefully it comes down at a nice rate. If not, I will look into tutorials like fuel dump, etc. I know how to do it on the 737. I know how to transfer fuel, obviously because it can't fuel dump. But on these big aircrafts, I will take a look into like fuel dumping, etc. Because I'm sure it can, because that would be the fuel dump, I should imagine. Right there, that would be the fuel dump for the where all the fuel go. So 360 is coming in now. Could do 369. Oh, do 369. 789. And an update on the initial 369. There we go. 369. 369. And a 369, which is there for optimum. Have a look down on our fuel, we can see what's going on with the fuel as well. So you can see the temperatures. Fuel flow 190 kilos a minute. Fuel on board say 3 tons. See our temperatures, gross weight is 274.2 and gross weight centre of gravity is 36.4. So see all of the fuel which is in, ready to leave, and we're not going to be too far away from our top of descent now. There's Nauta, you can see the ILS 15 which is there, so we are set up for the 15 approach, looking to get down to our top of descent. It's going to be at 15:30, we're currently at 15:20. So in 10 minutes time we will get ready to descend down into lovely Hamburg for 15 onto the ILS approach. To fly through to Mesa, you can see our top of descent is just there within reach, not too far there, it is just there by Nauta. So not too far at all. That's it, my man, not too long till the top of drop. Then we're going to fire in for 1.5. We'll check the METARs quickly actually. Let's have a look and see what the METARs for Hamburg are saying, see if that horrible weather's still there. It would be really nice to see it come in. So, humidity is 100%, temperature 7, 1017 on the Q&A, Zurich 3, broken clouds at a height of 500, so the weather has shifted a little bit onto the good side for us, as it was reaching down on for 2, 4 and 5 and then lifted up to 5, 6 and 700 feet. So that's alright for us, that's not too bad. Top of descent, so not too far away, it's going to be merely within 8 minutes. As you can see, there it is, there's Nauta coming in. So I'll leave you with that. You guys can see the top of descent, which is right there as we get ready, coming in just past Mazik and making our way to Kemed for 18 DME. So I'll see you guys in just a minute where we'll then get ready to come down. Too far now until we make that top of descent. You can see we're 6 nautical miles from Kemed. We're then going to go to Elnat, Wera, and then Nauta is where we're going to start that descent down from flight level 369, so nearly 37,000 feet. The arrival should be nice. There is clouds all over the place, so should make do for a really nice arrival when we do come in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this music off now. Just starting to do my nutting on the shuffle, so we can get that. We can hear the lovely aircraft noise as we get ready for our top of descent. So top of descent, there's Nauta. When we come through, we're coming down for 4,000 feet, 11,000 feet below. So 11,000 will be the first set, which will go down into the descent, and then we'll move it down to 4,000 feet, and then we'll drop down to 3,000 to intercept down in for the ILS. 3,000 feet should be in once we start the descent down, just past the Delta Hotel 457. So 3,000 feet, as you can see, the Delta 457, I want to get in for 4,000 feet. So I'm going to put 4,000 feet in, let that go. It should be 220 all the way down from the Delta Hotel 406. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell that I want to go in for 240 on the speed. And then once we get down for the Delta Hotel 09 at 10,000 feet, there's the Delta 412, and there is where I want to put in the 220. As we don't need to really slow down 220 straight away, as it's going to long things out a little. So by putting that in 240, it'll run all the way down, and then we'll decel just before. As on the 737 earlier on, we will start at the top of descent again as we come through, as it's going to hold through around 11,000 feet. So the aircraft should do quite nice. Top of descent is within reach now, just under 14 nautical miles. We pull the plug and we get ready to enjoy what this Airbus is going to offer us. 8 nautical miles to Wera and the Delta Kilo Sierra VOR, which is in. That's a nice feature that the Airbus does, where it automatically sets in the VORs to and from. You can see a little bit of terrain over to the right. High of 37, low of 19. Fuel on board's 31.9. So we'll see what the V approach is going to be when we come down. You can see our top of descent is around 30 nautical miles now. And we're going to slow down. We'll change the altitude constraint to 4,000 instead of 4,000 above. It's on the charts. Let's just get rid of this. On the charts it is 4,000 that we come through. Delta Hotel 457 is where we come through. 3,000 feet to hold in. We've got 3,000 in, but we're going to hit 4,000 for the initial approach fix, and then 3,000 ready to intercept for Devod, which is a 9.3 DME from the localizer. So we're not very far away at all. The aircraft's just basically flying on par. We're going to start to lower the MCP altitude down to 11,000 feet, which is checked. And then when it's time, we'll pull the plug. We'll see what the aircraft can do. As we can see all these lovely clouds as we come down, we're going to come down through it. 415, going to come down, make a left-hand turn, and then spin back around. We'll be coming in onto the 150. Nick, my man, good evening, pal. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Just in time, ready for us to pull the plug to start that top of descent. So if everybody's ready, we go overhead. Get our seatbelts on, tell the cabin to get ready to go. Got 11,000 plugged in on the MCP. There's our top of descent, just coming through where Norta lies. So once we pass the Linux, then we're going to come down for Norta, and that is where we pull the plug. So seatbelt signs are on. 36,900 feet. And we are ready to say bye-bye as we come down. So 14 nautical miles to go. And the A340-600 comes down into Hamburg. 4:15. Before we do that, we've got time. So the arrival here is Nolgo, which we put in flight level 110 below. Come down for 220. We sped that up and changed the speed constraint from 22 to 24. Once we get down to Delta Hotel 412, that's where we've put the restraint back in for 220, which will then roll us round down for 4,000 above for the Delta Hotel 475 or 457. So seeing as that is 4,000 above, we've got that for 4,000, which is there. And then we're going to come down for 3. As we can see down here, it would be rolling 4,000 and then 3 straight across down to Devod. So we can see terrain, etc. in the vicinity. Should be all good for us. And if we was coming down for the Hamburg transition, it would basically be following it through 4,000 onto 319, then at 16.5 DME at 220 knots, we make a left-hand turn onto the 195 to intercept the 150. So there's Norta right within view, ready to pull the plug. So let's get ready to go. Oops. There we go, put it into descent. Yeah, not tonight, my man. I thought, well, why don't we just get a live out. Take the 340 for a spin down into Hamburg, as we took the 737 out earlier onto Hamburg, and there was some there was quite some weather coming in as we leave flight level 369 now. Seatbelt signs are on, and we're now basically going to watch the aircraft descend down as we leave 37,000 feet. Yeah, no premiere tonight, my man. As we're leaving We can check down on the constraint. We can get in the arrival destination as well, arrival data should we say. So we'll go through onto the approach, we'll go get the METARs down for Hamburg coming in. So the METARs coming in, we've got 1017. Temperature's going to be 7. Winds is 0803. Trans levels 5000. We approach 156 and we're coming in for flaps full on the config. We've got a 253 MDA for 200 foot. I think it's a 253. Which I think is it 253? Yeah, 253 for a 200 foot decision. As we did this approach earlier on, it was quite a nice one. As there was some bad weather all around. So as we pass through 34,000 feet, we can see all this cloud in the vicinity as we come through. Doesn't look like there's any bad weather in the area. So we'll leave the terrain on as we ride through 33,000 feet, ready to tackle Hamburg. So we'll see what we can do. We can see if we can lay it down nice and smooth. Got 156 on the V approach. Just leaving now, inbound to Delta Lima X-Ray. Then we're going to move forward to Madur. You can see the VOR. So seatbelt signs are on. The aircraft's now going to take care of everything as we are in managed mode for everything. 11,000 feet, we'll drop that down to 3,000, 4,000 is where we intercept now for the Delta Hotel 457. And then we drop down to 3,000 feet where we intercept down for the runway. So on for the Navs. We're getting the Alpha Lima Foxtrot, which is the 1158. That's going to be leaving out onto the 150. If we needed to do a go around, what I might do is, over the go around, we'll put the 1150 and 1158. If we can put that in there. Put the 1158 onto number 2, which is the Alpha Lima Foxtrot. And because if we have to do the missed approach, we're going over to Hamburg on that left-hand turn. We'll be coming inbound, ready to go in. Hamburg's VOR is going to be 1131. Okay, which is in. Coming through, you can see that's the 225 radial coming back. And if you want to basically work the inbound in -2 +2, so that'll basically give us a 045, I should imagine. And that'll take us back to Hamburg when we come in. So it's -2 +2 to calculate the outbound radials, and then +2 -2 to calculate the outbound radials if it was coming inbound. As we pass through 26,000 feet, does look a little bit grim out there as we ride through. And as we can see out the window, well, it looks quite clear coming down. It doesn't look too bad. It was a lot worse earlier on, but I never say never. We're not actually right near to Hamburg just yet. We've still got that little way to go before we get down to Nolog, where Nologo is going to be our start of the star coming in on the 1 Delta arrival. Then we just basically move forward. As we can see, the Q&H's coming down. We set on the perf, that was at 1017, which is coming in. We've got a 253 MDA for a 200 foot decision height. Trans is going to be 5000. and 0803 over on our winds. 156 the approach. Clean speed's 229, slats is going to be 219, and then we'll start rocking our flats down for 170. Let's pass through 23,500 feet. So one thing I will do is I will sort out the bit rate on the next stream. So 1601, we're basically going to turn around. We'll probably have the sun in our views when we do. As we pass through, there's 11,000 when we level off. We're going to take that down to 4. So as we pass through 220, 5,000 feet, we'll switch QNHs over to 1017, and then we'll be able to see what this aircraft can do if the weather isn't too bad coming down. The updated METARs, which we can get right now again. Again, they haven't changed. Broken clouds at 500, broken clouds at 2,000 feet. So it's sort of progressing, and it's sort of not. Earlier on it was 200 feet, 300, and 5. And it went up to 5 to 700. So we can arm the ground spoilers, which are armed. We're putting some speed restraints. Instead of 220 at the Delta Hotel 406, we're going to carry on for 240, and then at the Delta Hotel 412, that's where we've put in another speed restriction, which is the 220 on the speed. So we should have started it a little earlier, but because we've got to go all the way up and around, we'll carry on 240, and then there will be the next speed constraint just for the Delta Hotel 412. So it should be a nice arrival. So as we come through, whenever there's like some serious, it makes the clouds look a bit weird, but then once we get under it, the clouds sort of go back to normal. That's one thing I have noticed with the X-Enviro. So as we pass through 18,900 feet, Nolgo is just in view. As we can see, there's Nolgo. 2.9 from Gatti. And then we're going to make that left-hand turn as we start to come through. Here's all of our lovely clouds that we're going to bust through, coming down into 1.5, and we'll see what happens and how the aircraft fares coming down. But the A340 is a nice aircraft. It's very nice and big, it's long, and it does do the job very nice and smooth on the flight director. I've seen it do some things on the VNAV just near when it's trying to chase a restraint, which probably could have been calculated a little bit sooner or later. But apart from that, the aircraft is very nice. It's very smooth on departure. Manoeuvring is very smooth with the flight director. As obviously you've got like auto trim, whereas in the Boeings we've got to move the trim more by ourselves. With the Airbus it does it itself, so that everything is to look after you and the aircraft with the flight laws, etc. As you can see, when the flight law changes, I've noticed after takeoff, when the law changes and you hit the landing gear, it's like there's a little sudden jolt of positive rate. So I don't know if that's where the I don't know if it's the direct law, which law it is, but it's when the law switches from when it's on the ground to on takeoff when it's in the air. So that is one thing I noticed. Apart from that, it's a nice plane. I do like the 747-2 and the 737-200. That's a nice aircraft too. They're all nice planes to fly, and they're all own accord. But right now we're in the A340 ready to blast in. 154 on the approach. So we don't get no freezes, which will be great on our part tonight. So 156.219 is where we're going to open up our slats. As we're going to start manoeuvring now. So there's a Nolgo ready for 11,000 below. And there's the 406. So we were originally meant to slow down for 220 at the Delta Hotel 406, but we've changed the speed constraint and stuck that to 240 and let the aircraft do what it wants to do coming down, as there'll be a next top of descent if it doesn't continue its descent down. And you see 110 for the 409. So as we come through, if we can have a look at this, we should be able to track and see what's going on. Let's see if we can intervene on anything as we come through. So the Delta Hotel 409 is where the aircraft's going to start its descent. We put the decel in for 220 for the 12, which is just past it, and that's exactly what the 737 did earlier on in the for the VNAV on the vertical deviation. Once we levelled off for 11,000 feet, we got to around the Delta Hotel 409, which is right here. Let's just zoom in a little bit. So the 409 and the 412, the 737 actually had its next top of descent, which was right here. And then it carried on down, and we can see that from 110, so then it's going to leave passing the Delta Hotel 409, and we can see the top of descent armed in blue where we're ready to go. And there's our decel for the D magenta, and all of our altitude constraints coming down. 3,000 feet will be at the Charlie India 15, and that's where we start the 3-degree glide path coming down onto the 150, which is in as well, and we can see 150, 3-degree glide path, 109.55, which we can confirm is there for the 109.55, the India Hotel, Hotel Sierra. Thanks, my man. 732 and the 742, yeah, they're great aircraft to fly. I love the old school with HSI. We've got the RMI here, which does remind me of the 747. We just haven't got the HSI, you know, the VOR to VOR old school navigation. That is very, very nice. I do find that very interesting as well. It's something that does interest me. It's great to learn. Once you can learn all that sort of stuff, you can pretty much do anything with props. You know, props you'd learn, the VOR to VOR navigation, etc. with the Garmins. With the airliners, the Airbus, I've had a fiddle with the VMware approach. We've done it down for Jamaica, set it off a little bit too early. Bit different than the Boeings. With the Boeings, obviously I know how to do the VMRs and everything with them, but with the Airbus, it's just a little different. Obviously we'd switch down for track and for the flight path angle, which would then be 3 degrees. So as we're now leaving now for Nolgo, we're going to basically fly through now for the Delta Hotel 406. Should start to slow down for 240 once we drop down under 10,000 feet. As we can see, lovely views now coming in for X-Enviro. So the aircraft's levelling off for 11,000 now. Aircraft's going to stay for flight level 110 until we get in between the 409 and 12, then we're going to start the descent further down for 4,000 feet. Okay, so I think move the lever. There we go. So I must have moved the lever just accidentally. I'm going to drop down to 240 on our speed. That's 10,000, which we're going to wait for. 1017 on the QNH. Airport's right here. We're basically just coming up and swinging a left-hand turn to come back through, so that's where we're going to level off. There's 4,000 feet. We're going to put 3,000, which is in. As we now slow for 240. 4000, flight level 400 is magenta. And 3000 that we're going to drop down. Seatbelt signs, no smoking is on. Everything else looks above board. So 2,000 feet broken clouds, and we've got 050 at 3 now, so we can update that on the arrival. There's 406. We're just getting ready now to pass through as we come down onto that lovely left-hand turn. So it's basically a height of 500 feet, broken clouds, and 2,000. It's made that left-hand turn now, heading down onto the 335, is it? 329. And every waypoint now is around 4 nautical miles apiece. So lovely setting now from X-Enviro's point as we ride it in. Estimated time of arrival 16:02, 55 nautical miles total track distance. Once we start to descend down, we get the landing lights on and we can configure the aircraft ready to come in. 15:48 is the next time for our fix, which is going to be in a few seconds time. There's 240 holding down on the restraint, and flight level 40 is the first altitude constraint, which is in magenta, ready to go. I like the little barriers around the 240, so I don't know if that's the sort of the leniency on the speed the aircraft has. You know, like its restriction, like it can float in between this these two markings. There's our clean, and 219 is going to be the slat. So once we drop down under our speed for 220, put our slat retractions in, and then we can start to get the aircraft fully configured to come down. So as I was saying, yeah, the barriers right here for 240. This must be the margin that the, I don't know if it's the margin that the autothrottle can operate in. As we can see for flight level 40, 4,000 feet. 5,000 QNH will go back over to 1017 as the sky slowly starts to draw in for us today. So I'm not sure if any of these lights won't get to work. Brighten up, there we go. It is pretty difficult to see them under here, but there's 4 of them in total. There's the other one, and then there's the other one. So there's 4 underneath. In daylight you would see them, but obviously as it's getting dark now, it is a little bit more difficult to see. I know we've got some other lights here, so got the dome as well, which we can light up. So here is our decel, and we're going to start our top of descent now. So I don't know if the landing rate will work because I haven't got the fly live. I didn't reactivate it after we got the flight back, so I don't know if the landing rate will pop up. It might not, but who knows. So there's a decel coming in. We can get our landing lights, which can go on now, which are checked. Can ding the cabin, and we'll reset the seatbelts just to let everybody know it's time to come down. Passing 10,000 feet. Aircraft's going to come down now for 220 as we start to slow the aircraft. Ground spoilers are armed. As we get a little closer to the airport, then we'll activate the landing system. And here comes the top of descent. Now we're going to swoop down into 4,000 feet as we leave 10. We need to come down for 220 now. So open up our slats. 154 coming in on the ref, 156. Flap setting of 1 is in, and we can start to bring the control column over now as we configure ourselves ready for the arrival. So landing lights are on as the aircraft's coming down for 9,000 feet, so it likes to come down on a nice little steep one. When it does come down, we are heavy as well. So we slowly come down for 220, and we're going to be coming down for 4,000 feet. Ground spoilers are armed. $4,000 for the Delta Hotel 457. They've just passed 8,009. They've slowly slow down to our slats for 219. I've got 22, which you need to be all the way around. So we're going to be around 17.3 DME once we hit the Delta Hotel 457, which is our initial approach fix coming in for the runway. So we can put the landing system on now, which is in, as we can see, 21 to 21. Passing through 8,002. That's it, my man, let's do this. As we swing round onto that last left for 150, and because we're looking 156, we've got 160 on the ground speed, so around 850, you could be going for around 900 feet per minute. Between 850 and 900 feet per minute we'll swing in as we're going to roll in on the approach, as the aircraft makes its final left-hand turns now, as we come down for 4,000 feet. So cabin crew, take your seats for arrival. Auto brake setting, and come in for number 2. Passing through 7,000 feet, 5,000, I'm going to switch to QNH so for 1017. .4,000 feet is our first altitude constraint, and then 3,000 ready to line up for the glide slope. So still 25 nautical miles out. We need to be staying for around that 220 mark. So I'm not going to activate the localizer or anything just yet, as we're too far out and it isn't even come into range yet. So we'll hold out for our flaps 1 configuration until we get a lot closer in, as we now make that final left-hand turn. The landing lights are on, no smoking, seatbelt signs, ground spoilers are armed, and we are all ready to come in. Passing through 5,009, 5,000 feet, we'll switch over the QNHs, which will then go back to 1017. Auto brake number 2 is in, as we get the lovely views from X-Enviro this evening. Okay, so we'll get the QNHs back down, 1017, which is in on both sides and checked, 3,000 feet, which is set in on the MCP, and we've got 4,000, which is in, which is the first altitude constraint, and then we need to go down for 3,000 feet for the Charlie India 15, which is the start of our descent down, which will be at 9.3 DME from the localizer, which is right here, the India Hotel, Hotel Sierra, 10955, and it's 22 nautical miles out. So once that gets to 9.3 DME, which is the Charlie India 15, which is basically our final approach point, we're then going to basically start the descent down. So leaving 4,900 feet. .224, and then 156 as we come down. So we'll get the aircraft fully configured on for our arrival. So that is pretty much us set to come in. We're going to level, keep descending. There's 4,000s there, we'll keep descending down for 3. We've got some lovely views to show you about the bit rate, so you guys can see it a little bit more clearer. But either way, we're going to be coming down into that. We can see the mist. So passing through 4,003, that's the first restraint. We should then drop down for 3,000 feet, which will be in for the next restraint. So we continue the descent down. There's 3,000, which is now armed. The aircraft's going to drop down. So now match that as we get ready and in. So there's the localizer, which is already in, so we can arm the approach. Localizer will now become active as the glide slope's above, so we'll level off for 3,000 feet and then we'll wait for the glide slope to come down. We can see it says Cat 3 single, so if we was going to do an auto land, we can put the autopilot 2 in, that will say a Cat 3 dual. And obviously for the MDA, I should imagine you're putting the decision height down on the perf instead of the MDA. There's 3,005, 3,000, we're going to level off. Then we're going to start to come down, waiting for that glide slope. So we're going to come down into a flaps 2 setting. As we do need to start slowing the aircraft down, ready to come in. We're going to level off now. Flap setting 2 is in, auto brake number 2 config is set, and the landing lights are on. So there's us leveling for 3,000. We're going to wait for the glide slope now to come down, the magenta diamond. Localizer's already in, so we are centre with the runway, and we're just waiting for the glide slope to come in. Once it gets around to about the 1 dot, that's when it'll get just under. We'll drop in for a flap setting 3 and get the gear down as well. So we've got some lovely views as we roll through these clouds. So X-Enviro does give you a lovely view to look at when coming in. There's a glide slope coming down now. It drops just under the bar. We'll go down into a flaps 3 config and we'll drop the gear down. So we'll see how we fare for the Airbus A340-600. So just dropping down now underneath the last dot. Now we're going to a flaps config 3, gear down. Glide slope's now going to switch over, which is now active, and we'll start to descend down on the 3-degree glide path. 9.3 DME, and that's where the glide slope was going to start. Visibility was even better, then obviously we could disconnect a little sooner and fly it down a little bit more manually. We can see X-Enviro with the landing lights now coming on. 253 MDA for a 200-foot decision. Get the runway turn off lights on, gear is down, 4 green.
2,500.
2,500, which is checked. So we have got some nice visibility. We'll go to flaps config 4 now, as we're going to drop down for 156. So we might get some manual flying in, as we can see the runway there, which is in. So if you guys are ready, as we are configured, we'll take her out now, and I have control of the aircraft. So we'll follow the glide slope down, and we'll see how we fare.
2,000.
2,000 checked. So lift up just a little. We'll be staying for around 800 to 900 feet. So we'll stay up just for a few seconds until the glide slope comes back. Then we'll go down that extra 200 feet. So there it comes. We'll start to come down now. Very stable, the Airbus is a very nice aircraft to fly. Now we'll come down for around 800 to 900 feet. Level ourselves up just a little. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to brighten it up just a little bit so you guys can see some sort of landing cinematics as we come through. Otherwise you won't get to see anything. Once the darkness comes in, that's pretty much it. Okay, so there's 900, which we can start to lift. There's wind's coming in now. Transporters are armed. All we've got to do is just check to make sure the cabin's ready, which they are. 1000, which is checked. So she's nice and stable, but we'll find out on that flare what she's really going to do.
500. 400. 300. 100 above.
Okay, so swooping just a little low.
Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Check.
Okay, speed brakes are up. And reverses are active. Pressure on the column. Can be stowed as we now disarm the auto brake, and we can come off of the runway turn-off. And there we are, guys, down in Hamburg. 340 is one to master, should we say. She does have a very high flare, which is different to the like the 747. I thought the 747 being high up had like a flare to it, but this aircraft is something. So we will perfect her, should we say, and get her all ready and in. So runway tunnel flights can go off, nose can go to taxi, which will be set. We'll get the APU on as well. APU bleed can come on. I shouldn't think it'll do a dual bleed if it was on anyway. As we're now going to roll through, and we'll go over to the gate. Literally, like, that's how it goes, but you know what, that's the A340 for you, and that's just how it goes, you know. So we'll see on the landing cinematics what actually happened, how she fared. We'll see if the passengers are going to write off for a complaint when they jump off. So we're going to cross over the runway as we go in and get the arrivals, and for the airport as we come through. So we're taxiing off now. I'm going to come through off of Alpha 4. I'm going to park myself right in front, basically just by the gate. But thanks, guys, for all you guys tuning in this evening. So as we come over now, strobes can go off, navs can go to, well, as we keep navs and logo on, everything else is all set and checked for us. So not wasting no time, we'll go to the landing cinematics and definitely get some views for you. Flaps can be fully retracted now. I'm basically going to swing in to one of these gates. We're going to swing in here. Does look a little small, but should be right. Swing the landing lights off, taxis off as well as we come through. As we make that tight left to line up now. Oh, nearly. Oh, we'll just call it that anyway. We'll say we're here now. We're all ready to go. We'll tell the we'll tell the passenger buses to have to jump out. We ain't got no jetway today for you, unfortunately. So let's go and have a look at the landing cinematics, shall we, and see what we fared coming down. So as we come down on set arrival, some lovely views of the Swiss A340 So we'll see what happened as we come in. So it's sort of like a 50-50 sort of like a soft firm sort of one. Okay, so what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to leave you with the landing cinematics. So I hope you guys do enjoy it. You have a great rest of your evening, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next available flight on the channel. So take care, guys, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye.